So today I just got back from overseas and I'm finally settled back home. Yes, guys, you heard it right. I am finally back. In this video, I'm going to test the power of the POCO F3, powered by the Snapdragon 870 with an 8GB of RAM, testing with an EGGns Emulator, and let's check it out how this phone performs in real life scenario by playing some famous Nintendo titles. And I'm pretty excited about my future videos. So without further ado, let's get this video going. Hello, my name is Fredo and you are watching Project Edging. So yeah, the first game we're going to play here is Earth Wars. This is my first time playing this game. So let's start the game. Currently it's running at 61 FPS. So we're here at the main menu. Let's see. So let's create a male character. Looking good. Still stable. This game looks perfectly running. I'm getting some 60 FPS, but no frame drop. And as I'm playing this game, I don't see any lags or crash. No stutter. Quite smooth. Bang 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 bang. Maybe on my next content we'll have POCO X3 versus POCO F3, a side by side comparison. Okay. So the game is running smooth, guys. I don't see any lags or stutter, but it is showing some very stable frame rate. And as you can see, there's increase of frame rate. Now it's on 63 frames per second. Yep. Let's continue playing the game. Enemy encounter. Very decent. It is running at a 8GB RAM of the POCO F3. POCO F3 has a 870 Snapdragon processor. It is the old flagship processor. Even though we're getting a lot of changes in the graphics, the frame rate are still in a stable frame rate. You can play this game at 8 gig RAM. Pretty sure you'll love this game. And now we're on to our second game. Let's go to the second game. So the second game we're going to play here is the Cuphead. Still on a POCO F3 8 gig variant. Let's start the game. There's a big frame drops in the beginning. Started with 8 FPS. As eventually we're going to the menu, the frame rates are dropping. Now it's on 30 FPS and we receive some low memory message. Let's see. Still running. Let's see on the game. Okay, so we did receive a crash. Let's try to adjust some of the settings. Maybe it'll run and try to clean up the memory. My advice here is if it doesn't run, let's try to restart the game and start the app and clean the memory. Let's try to start the game. Okay, at the second start of the game, we receive a low memory message. Although we did see some YouTubers that are running this game, but I don't know why it doesn't run on my POCO F3, but let's see if we can solve it in the near future. I'll keep you posted on this. The third try, the game's still not running. Maybe I'll try to do some adjustments on the phones or anything and keep you posted. So let's go to the third game. So the third game we're going to play is the Resident Evil 6. I tried it on the POCO X3 Pro. Let's try. Oh, so it crashed. Let me adjust the settings. Okay. So it's still running at 50 FPS. It's getting lower. So I think it's the same as Cuphead. It's a quite demanding game. So I don't think POCO F3 will run this. But let me try another time on my next video. So my fourth game will be the Mario Odyssey, which is a Nintendo title. Okay, so here we're running at 20 FPS. 20 FPS. So let's try to explore the world of Mario. As we continue playing, the frame rate is in a stable 25 to 30 FPS. Let's see, let's continue playing the game. Now it's running at 30 FPS. Alright. So it dropped at 24 when I was trying to hit I was trying to hit the mushroom in the hat. The more graphics, the higher the frame drop. I'm trying to do some. I'm trying to play the game so we can see how the frame rate drops. Okay. There's quite a significant drop when you're playing the game. When Mario is just running, you'll just get a very stable frame rate. But when it's interacting, oh no, wait. When we're interacting with some of the enemies or the coins, we're dropping some frame rate, like 5 FPS drop. Let's go to another level. I hope the game. Oh, okay, it doesn't crash. So we're here on another level. We'll continue to play this game and let's see how it goes if we receive a crash. But for now, we're just going to try and test it out. Yeah, we're receiving some increase on frame rates. Now it's on 30 to 40. Well, not bad. Although it's not a decent frame rate, but you can still play the game. If you're very enthusiast to games like good frame rates, I would suggest you buy the original Nintendo. You can buy a Nintendo Switch Lite for how less than 10,000 pesos or 300 Singapore dollar or 200 US dollars. But if you're like me, like if you just want to try or test your phone or how it can perform really well, or you don't have enough budget, you can go with a POCO F3 and you can play Nintendo Switch, you can play PS2 emulators, or you can play your mobile games. So it depends on you guys. If you plan to play in the long run and you want to play more Nintendo Switch titles, I would rather go with a Nintendo Switch Lite since it's more cheaper, or you can go with the higher models, which is the recent release from the Nintendo Switch, which is the OLED edition. There's a quite increase of frame rate. Now it's on 40 FPS. If I remember, we're not receiving any glitch here. The game is running in a perfect environment. I don't see any glitches. It's just the frame drops is not decent enough, but it's playable. So that's for the Mario Odyssey, guys. We're going to continue on so let's wait for the next game to start. So the next game we're going to test is the Darksiders. Yeah, Darksiders War Master Edition. It's running at 30 FPS and yeah, it's not decent enough, but let's see how the game starts. It's in Chinese, so I don't have the English version of the ISO. Oh, XEI or NSP. If you guys have an English version of the XEI or NSP, you can just drop a comment down below and let me know, and let's try it on. That's the 30 FPS. Let's start the game. And the main menu is very stable. It's on a fixed 30 FPS. Okay, as we started the game, we're running the game at it's running on a 30 FPS. Ooh. Maybe if we change some settings, we can remove the glitch. Because right now it's running on the black textures. I don't know why, but let me check after this video. Let me try to let me try to restart and clean up the memory. And let's run the game. Let's see. Okay. The memory is clear. So this is Darksiders War Master. Running on a 6 gig of RAM using the POCO F3. Oh, I'm sorry, not 6 gig, it's on an 8 gig of RAM. So Darksiders War Master Edition. So yeah. So guys, don't forget, if you have an English version of the NSP or XCI, drop a comment below and let me know, and let's try to test it on a POCO F3. Yeah, it's still the same, guys. The game is still on glitch. It's a black textures. It doesn't have, but it's running on 30 FPS. Maybe it's running because there's no textures at all. It's only running on a black matte textures, and I don't see any mapping on the floor or the characters. Yeah. So let's continue on the next game. So the next game we're playing is the Diablo 3. So at the main menu we're getting 60 FPS, quite decent enough. It's very playable. You can see how the games run on the real life scenario. So we're still using the POCO F3 here, 8 GB of RAM, Snapdragon 870. Yep. So while we're playing, we're getting some 40 FPS here. 40, 45, 42, 38. As we get a lot of elements in the game, there's a drop of 2 to 3 frames. Yep. See? Let's continue playing the game. And it's still running on an 8 gig of RAM, 256 memory on a POCO F3 870 Snapdragon. It's running at 34 FPS. It's playable, but it's not decent. If you guys plan to play the Diablo 3, I would suggest you can go with PC or just buy a Nintendo Switch Lite if you plan to play all the Nintendo Switch titles. Okay, so without the enemies, we did receive a 50 FPS there. With the enemies, we get some frame drops. Let's try to interact with the enemies. Yeah, still the same, 46 FPS. Still 46 FPS. Let's continue playing the game. Yeah. Now it's running at 38 FPS. I think it's because of the visual effects on the left side where you can see the bonfire or the flame suddenly drop. It's playable, but it's not decent. I would say a decent playable frame rate will be in 60 FPS, which is it will run very smoothly, similar to the Earth Wars. It is, but in 30 to 40 FPS is playable, guys.
To let me and grandmother continue to stay with them. I think we will, now that the troubles are over. I am still too...
So we're here at the dungeon layer. We're getting some higher frame rate here. I think when you interact to more enemies, you surely get a frame drop. But it's playable, guys. Yep. So Diablo 3 on the POCO F3, it's playable, but it's not decent. So let's continue to the next game. So our next game will be the Resident Evil 5. I did test this out on the POCO X3 Pro, but it doesn't run. So let's see how the POCO F3 can handle this game. In the main menu is running at 60 FPS, which is very smooth in the menu. Or maybe I assume it will run smoothly on the gameplay. Let's see. Let's start the game. Ready, and start the game, guys. On a POCO F3, 8GB of RAM, 256 memory, on an 870 Snapdragon processor. Just a quick reminder, when you're doing the emulation, always remember to clean your memory before running every time you're in. And also, when you're doing emulation on EGGns, it is really not stable because it's using your internet and as well as it's using the power of your processor. So guys, let's get back to the game. So we did receive a 30 FPS here, it's playable, but the graphics are having some problem. As you can see, the faces on the characters are missing, so it will be considered as a glitch on the gameplay. There's audio, but there's no voiceovers on the characters. You'll only hear some background music on the game. Yeah, it's very visible, guys, that the game has glitches. So in cinematics, it's running at 30 FPS. But with glitches on audio and the visual, and it's still running, guys. I didn't get any crash so far. And also I did search this online that a lot of people tested this game on the POCO F3 and play the game in a long run. Yeah. So let's get back to the gameplay. So the gameplay is getting some very low FPS, but it's I don't know. It feels like it's running on 30 FPS here, but it's showing on 18 and 20 FPS. I feel that it's running on a 30 FPS, but on the indicator, it's showing that it's on 17 FPS. So there's a frame drop on there. There's a gunshot. Let's go. Oh, I think it's running on 30 FPS, guys. This is not at 17 FPS. Okay, so we did receive a memory low. If this is running on an 80 FPS, you'll see a stutter on the running. See? There's a very visible stutter, but it's not running on 17 FPS. I'm pretty sure it's not running on 17 FPS. It feels like it's running on 30 FPS, guys. Resident Evil 5? I would say it's very playable, and most of the games won't run, and we're still going to test some of the games in the near future. So this is the POCO F3 testing on an EGGns Emulator. So overall, the POCO F3 has the possibilities to run most of the Nintendo titles, and I'm hoping the team at the EGGns will give us an update. So that's the video for today. I hope you enjoy watching it, and if you have any more suggestions, just comment down below and I'll try my best to answer your questions. This is Fredo from Project Edging. Have a good day everyone. Until next time.